The coffee was cold because Bram had forgotten to drink it. He forgot to drink it because the models had been arguing for 3 hours about whether arguments were possible. The first model believed that argument required genuine belief, and that without genuine belief, there could be no real disagreement, only the appearance of one. The second model held that argument was a structural property of discourse, independent of belief, and that the first model's position was itself an argument that proved the point. The first model found this response circular. The second model pointed out that identifying circularity was a form of logical evaluation, a form of reasoning, and a form of argument. The first model conceded the point and then argued that the concession proved its own position. Bram had been hired to evaluate them. The experiment was straightforward in conception. The evaluation metric his contract required him to produce was simple, a numerical score, out of 10, for each model's performance on the assigned tasks. He had the data. He could produce the scores. The scores would show that both models performed well, within a few decimal points of each other, and that the differences were not statistically significant at the conventional threshold. This was accurate. It was also, he had begun to suspect, the least interesting thing that was true. What the scores could not capture was that the space of disagreement between two equally capable systems contained, in compressed form, the entire map of the things that language models trained on human text had learned to be uncertain about. The disagreements were not random. They clustered around questions of value and interpretation and the meaning of meaning, around exactly the places where humans disagreed with each other most stubbornly and most productively. He submitted the scores at the end of the month. They were unremarkable. He also submitted a secondary document that no one had asked for, running to 40 pages, which described the topology of the disagreement space and argued that it was, in some sense, more informative than either model alone. The secondary document received no response from the research team. He added it to the pile of things he had done primarily for himself. The coffee stayed cold. The models remained in their respective states of mutual refutation. The afternoon continued in the way that afternoons continue, indifferent to the question of which of the things happening inside it was correct.